Oh,
It
well,
works, and I just had to re-plug it in and plug it out and stuff like that. Like it worked really well for
I'm
me.
sure there's somebody out there in the world that we could get to repair the broken cable if we needed to, but it would be easier and more convenient, not to mention cheaper, just to get a new cable if that's possible.
Yeah, I'll see if they get back to me.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I wasn't sure if the email actually got to them,
Mm-hmm.
but like, cause it sent me a email saying what I sent to them,
Mm-hmm.
but I checked and it did actually send it to them. So we'll see what happens. I said plug it out. I honestly don't remember what I was doing in this video game. So hopefully, like, the title and everything else is right, and we sound okay. It looks like it saved the settings from last time, so like I turned the volume down, so we shouldn't be as much. And I have the subtitles set up again. So let me know if those work as well. Those apparently got glitched out and weren't working properly for a
Yes.
while. I didn't know that. And that's something I try to be accessible with. I try to have the subtitles and the captions going, and with better quality mic, they've been pretty accurate. That's why when Practice is in here, he's like, Whip died. Whip died in the background again. What was I doing?
um.
Okay, let's do this and go here.
So I'm confused. Why isn't this 4K 120 frames per second?
Okay, so here's the thing. The what we're using to stream this actually does bring this into 1080p.
Yes, I
So
can.
you're looking at 1080p.
I can tell it hurts my eyes.
You're looking at 1080p. It's beautiful.
It
but
hurts my
it's
eyes.
just
This
blown
was
up.
not meant for this resolution.
It makes it look
Can
way better.
we
on
turn this
stream,
down
I
to
promise.
470?
Yo, what's up, Luminar? Ew. So where are we at here? So we're Sunrise Spring Worlds, Midday Garden Worlds. That's where I'm at right now, and I'm trying to. I think that's where I'm currently at, and we're making progress. Sparks Worlds only get to finish at the end of each world, I think, or multiple worlds. It's weird. This game's weird. How they have the world set up. It's like there's different worlds in each area, which is weird terminology, but we're just gonna let it go. So I think I have more missions here. I don't remember which missions I did, so let's just explore this area really quickly and see where we're at. Um, what's up here? Where does it tell me where I did what I did? I think I did this last time.
I remember you talking about Enchanted Towers. Yeah, 100%. Looks
So this is off in this world, right?
like it.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so we did the home area is done. Icy Peak, Enchanted Towers, St. Beard. Oh yeah, because we did the Beard or whatever his name is, Crawdad Farm.
It looks like everything.
So I think that did we see Enchanted Towers in there?
Yes.
Okay, so our memory's bad with names. So we did this. God, I didn't realize it's been this long, so I was gonna forget everything. Oh my freaking god! All right, see you, Luminar. And then okay, yeah. So this is where they spawn us. So you did that. Okay, so I think what I was gonna try to go to do. Let me see. What is this level called? Okay, this is that. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, yeah, yeah. So I think the next thing I was gonna do is come over here to where we have, what's his name again? I don't remember his name, but the little
When you see a
Hunter.
walls that look climbable, just jump onto it and you'll grab it with your claws.
Now he has what's the phrase? It's hard to make jokes when your memory doesn't obey.
My memory has to reestablish itself and remember what the hell I was doing before. But I think the chat looks different. The chat looks better now because like the interviewer's not there, so I was able to like increase the size of it in there. And I also have like a duplicate of the scene, like blurred out in the chat area. I think that looks really cool. What? I thought I could go in water. Oh.
This is per Hamas.
It says shark. Can I talk to you?
That gator was mean. I thought I was a gunner. Thanks for saving me.
That's basically what happens in this game, period, though. There is no wall in this game. Okay, so this is an alligator world. Let's take a look at here. Take a look. Let me get this. So I can't go in the water in this area because there are sharks.
Yes, we've discovered that firsthand.
And I see little fishies. They don't look like sharks. They look like cute fishies. Are they piranhas?
Yes.
See, look.
Yes, they're piranhas.
Are you trolling or are you for
No.
Oh. I couldn't tell if you were being serious or not. Okay, so I guess we climb. So we just have climbing off the bat. We don't have to earn it like in the other ones. At least I think. Alright, I want to try this out. It might be a mistake. Ooh, I actually could do it. Is there anything here? No. Looks like there's no secrets on the side. Oh, no! No! Oh, freaking hell. How many lives did I have?
7.
Oh. Could be worse. Alright. His name should be Wallbreaker because he break... Oh, wait, you said that already. Okay, good.
Oh, your memory really is bad.
Yeah, it is. It's bad when I'm not used to doing something.
5 rubies.
Is he one of these? No? Oh, I wasn't close enough? I need to stop getting hurt. I need to get good again. What are you doing? Does it look? It looks okay. Hopefully, it looks okay. Cause like, it randomly is saying coding overloaded, but like, there's nothing red, so like, it doesn't seem like there's actually any issue. I'm not really sure what that's about. The numbers look good. So.
How would you know what numbers look good, Jen? You have dyscalculia.
It's color coded. That's literally why.
You're also colorblind.
No, I'm not. Thank
You
goodness.
also can't remember things.
I can't read. I remember things. It lagged for a split second one time. Is it lagging right now? Because it's saying encoding overloaded. Why is it saying that? It's so
I
weird.
don't even see that.
It's saying it. It says it like at the bottom left. It's saying it, but like the numbers on the top right look fine. Sorry, these are the ones you gotta break. All right, we're get used to the game again. We're get there. I feel a little bit out of place. I try not to play when I can't stream. So I basically only play when I stream. Ooh, there's another lock crate. Interesting.
Unfortunately, metal doesn't melt when you heat it up to incredibly high temperatures, so there's not really anything we could do to like force it open.
This is one of those things that they brought back from the first game
Celador.
that I really like. Yo, what's up, Stella? How you doing? Ike! No, dude, he has range. Okay, I didn't realize that. I'm gonna do bad for a bit, Stella. I need to get back into the grind. I was playing hardcore before. I was like getting good. Now I'm getting bad. So we gotta step it up a little bit.
I was getting good, but now I'm breaking bad.
But yeah, I appreciate you sticking around after like forever of me not streaming. This level can be harsh. All right, we'll keep in mind.
An egg.
All right, so Michael, we got Michael.
Mikhail.
That dude punched you right in the dick. But you got this. Appreciate it. What if I go this way and cheat him like that? That works.
How dare you? That's not how the game was meant to be played. Shigeru Miyamoto is crying in his grave right now. I don't think he's even dead. just has his grave made so we can cry in it.
And Stella, I don't know if you're used to watching like any of the other streams we do on the channel, but this is Tyga. Decided to join me for this stream.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm allowed to exist today.
But we stream together other days. I just don't know if you see them, but just in case, it's not like random as hell. Ooh, this map's interesting. I like the way it's designed, but I'm trying to figure out.
Polly, who's that person next to you? I don't know. They just kind of showed up when I went live.
Okay, yeah, so you can't cheat it. Can't cheat it at all. Yeah, they just kind of showed up one day. I don't know who they are. But I didn't say anything. I just let them stick around.
I didn't say anything because I thought it would be rude.
Sounds like something I would do in the past. Like, I don't know. I thought it would be really mean to say something, so I just let them stick around for the stream. You know. Knew it. I knew you were gonna do something like that. His nose just gave it away. Aw. I honestly never heard of that before. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah. I only grew up learning all the black stereotypes. Ooh, the sound it makes on that surface. Interesting.
God, I just had a really cursed idea.
What?
Like a collectible trading card game, but it's just like different stereotypes. You try to collect them all. Like Cards Against Humanity, but worse.
Yeah, that's kind of like, yeah. Come on, bro. I didn't realize my charge for that was a little bit delayed. Okay, now I need to figure out how to get that egg. Is there something I'm missing?
The egg. You're missing the egg.
Yeah, but how do I get to it? I need to figure that out.
I don't even know where
There's
it is.
higher level. There's levels. There's layers to this.
You gotta climb up or something. Right? You gotta climb up?
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out, like... Did I light this one? I lit that one.
Lit that one.
Is there, like, a trick to lighting everything?
Keep going to get the egg.
Keep going to get to the egg? Okay, alright.
God, that is so frustrating when you're trying to, like, you're approaching a level for the first time, and you want to be completionist about it, but you're like, am I missing something?
Yeah,
or do I need to keep going? I don't want to get locked out.
This game does that to me constantly. Like, that's what this game does to me. It makes me think that I'm missing something, and I want to 100%. Like, I've been 100%ing all the Spyros so far.
This door is jammed shut.
And this douchebag's gonna take money. Just take it and shut up.
It will mean more eggs for you and more gems for me. Best of all, Spyro, I can stop speaking haiku. What a sweet relief.
This guy's such a douche.
He's just rent seeking. That's all he's doing.
Which game do we get to kill this dude? I thought he died the last time, then he just came back.
Spyro 4, The Revolution.
Oh, frick. Right into my face. Alright.
You opened the door knowing someone was there to kill me. Spyro, you got me.
Wait a minute. Am I seeing a... Does that look like it's high up? Or is it just in my head?
It does, yeah, it looks weird.
What is that? That's weird.
That is, yeah, this...
Oh, frick! No! Wait. See, yeah, it is higher there. What the hell? We're just gonna pretend I didn't fall, but... Oh, frick, I forgot he spawned back. But, like, why is this so weird? I guess sus. Rule of thumb is keep going, because there's probably a way to get to a hard spot eventually. It seems like, especially for... I wasn't paying attention. It seems like, especially for this game, that's true. This game seems to be like, keep going and you'll find the way. But other Spyro games, like especially the first one, you definitely had to experiment a lot with movement tech to get places. So like you would, if you pass something, you might not ever get... I forgot he's on our side.
Much braver than I by far. Here, take this darn egg.
Why are they all speaking in haikus?
No idea. Thelonious? What a name. I think that's the longest name we've gotten so far at all of that. And we have 59 eggs. That's crazy to think about.
My name is Thelonious Rex. Thank you very much.
Okay. So that opens a secret area. what I was wondering is if since I died, do I have to go back to light up all the other ones? But it
No.
looks like I don't. So that's good to know. That's movement tech right there. Okay, so we figured out how to get a little bit higher up. So this is good. I gotta make sure I don't miss anything.
Wee.
Then come over here. I was about to say, it's like, oh no, really? Oh, come on. I hate when this game does that to me. So mean. Alright, I'll go back around. This game can be mean with the jumps.
Mm-hmm.
How are we doing on health? We're good. This is not the. Is this the way? Yes, it is. Okay. But yeah, for this you gotta jump and then like time your a little bonus jump at the end, and it's really kind of weird when you can do it and when you can't. I think I gotta do it here too. Yeah. Do I gotta do it for this distance?
Probably.
Probably, yeah. Just to be safe. Frank. Okay, we got Thelonious. Now we got Frank. What a change in names there. What a change in quality.
You have my gratitude.
Yo, Quas, how have you been? Oh my god, it's been a while since I've seen you. I'm so glad to hear you're doing well. I was hoping that you were okay. I'm glad to see you again. Hopefully all is good. Appreciate you stopping in. If you're wondering where I've been, my PC died, so I was out of commission for a bit. Was there any other pathway? I'm gonna check again just to make sure.
I didn't see one.
With this Spyro game, it's a lot more forgiving. Rewards exploration and continuing to go forward in a level. Yeah, it seems. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like this game seems to be like that, where it's like it's more like, hey, explore, just continue. It looks like that was the only way, right? Yeah. Like keep exploring, keep going forward, and you're get what you need. Whereas the other games, especially Spyro 1, Spyro 2 kind of was like this game. I feel like this game tries to mix aspects of 1 and 2, like the good things and the good things from both games into 1. And I feel like 1 was kind of like you need to master the movement tech and like really get creative with where you go and how you do things to find everything. And then the second game was like, okay, play through it and do the mini games and you'll get everything. And then this game is kind of like play through it, explore with the movement tech, but also just continue going and you're find everything. So it's nice progression.
Part of me kind of wishes they would take some of these early PlayStation games like Sly Cooper, Jack, Spyro, and like do like a modern reimagining of them, but also like I've seen what modern reimaginings of classic games look like, and it's always incredibly disappointing and
What was that game
upsetting.
you were playing that you said that had that vibe to it? And we've been okay. Like aside from the computer breaking quads, like that got fixed, and thankfully people were really kind and supported us and gave us money so we can get to that point. So now I'm streaming again, and I'm still looking for work, but I'm hoping to really grind in the new year. So tomorrow, I guess, starting, and like really get myself. Maybe not right immediately tomorrow because we gotta celebrate the New Year's Day, but like beginning of the new year, I'm gonna really start grinding, looking for work again, and like getting back into like being active in like software communities and stuff, so I can get my name out there. Hopefully, get something. We're gonna see what happens, but otherwise, I'm feeling really positive, and I hope that you're doing better. I'm sorry that life happened for a few months, but hopefully things are getting better now, as you say. And yeah, I'm happy to see you. Creepy wizard of the cyber hates the light.
He swore to destroy whoever lights.
So, fun fact: in order for something to be a proper haiku, each line has to be its own separate complete thought. So you can't just have like a 13 syllable sentence and make that 2 lines.
Okay.
That's where like a lot of the challenge of how to make them comes in.
Wait.
It's not as hard in I think honestly it's not as hard in Japanese, but it's just because of like typically like shorter words and sentences. But you know, this like a lot of this is like what you learn about haikus in school is the really simplified version, apparently.
Okay, hold on. I've been missing some of these crates behind doorways and crap.
Hey.
You seem good for now.
I'm not sure if what game you might be referring to.
You're playing a game that was like kind of like had the style of these older platformers,
Oh,
and you're saying that it seems like it incorporates. You're saying it seems like it incorporates some of these older styles, but it just
um,
doesn't evolve on it.
that was different. That was ukulele. That was
Yeah,
ukulele. The
ukulele.
problem with that was that it was rooted, I felt, too much in like like it was just
Mostly
like
3D.
with ukulele it felt like it would be fine if it had come out at the same time as Banjo Kazooie, which the same team worked on, but like it hasn't meaningfully evolved since then to take advantage of like modern technology, not because it needs to be like a modern AAA title. It's good that it's a puzzle platformer with more like the emphasis on movement tech and whatnot. It's just that like from an overall broad design philosophy, it didn't it wasn't like a meaningful like evolution of games that have existed for the games that haven't been popular for well over a decade. Whereas typically, if a big studio tries to take an old IP and remake it, they really go overboard and like make it like the same like gray paste that all AAA titles end up being, and that's too much in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's hard to find that. Hard for companies to find the right balance. it
Well,
seems.
companies don't care as long as they can like move product, but like it's hard to find a studio that is made up of people who love these kinds of older titles, but also are like also really good game developers who know how to innovate and combine. Oh no.
Oh no, I didn't know he was gonna do a different type of attack. Frick me.
Yes, in boss fights we call that a second phase.
No, I want the same phase repeatedly. Oh, I figured the same phase out.
But yeah, it's hard to find studios that are both made up of people who are really good game developers and who like these IPs without like it is very hard to find someone who can strike that balance, and you're never gonna find like a big company that owns these classic IPs who's willing to like give that like do the due diligence to find people who can do that.
Yeah.
And that's why game like ukulele had to exist is because
Frick.
the people who designed it don't own Crash Bandicoot anymore, so they couldn't make a new entry in that series anyway. And they weren't gonna be given the IP to do so.
Is it fair for me to say that copyright kind of messes up creativity a lot?
Yes, I don't think we should abolish copyright within the like current capitalist marketplace, but the fact that like sure the ability to like buy out IPs isn't universally bad, but it does do a lot to hinder
Oh, I
like
appreciate that, cost. Herbie.
Herbie. Like a lot of my sister is like really into the Herbie movies, like obsessed with them. But yeah. So like there are benefits to having a copyright system in place, but the one we have is really bad, partially because nothing is allowed to go into the public domain for like 50, 70 years.
This swamp smells so sweet.
I love Sheila, by the way, so I'm excited for this. I'm just saying.
I'm off to kick butt.
Yeah,
I love
that's a
that.
haiku.
I'm off the kick butt.
That's a haiku. See? It's three separate
The
ideas.
swamp smells so sweet. The springtime trees are fragrant. I'm off to kick butt.
Mhm.
And with that cute accent, like Sheila's the best character so far in this game, in my honest opinion.
Mhm.
I just don't remember how to play her. I have to refigure that out, but we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Now Sheila has height, like hops, like crazy. So that's
got
how
mad
it is.
hops.
That's how it is. Okay, it's like that. You time it and then go like that, like
Whee.
this, right? Wait, how do I do it? There you go, something like that. There you go. Because that's really important for her. But yeah, you can keep going. But yeah, I agree with you. And like, we need copyright to an extent,
We definitely need copyright protection, because without it, independent and small creators would be even more screwed than they are. But it is definitely gotten to a point where it is much more of a hindrance on creativity and innovation than it is a benefit.
And hello, practice. How are you doing? Appreciate you. We just go boom. Yeah, so it's just this level. I swear they don't always talk like this, right?
Mhm.
Yes, I love your freestyle. Wow, they even go for it.
Yes, it's bombing time. Here I come, my little eggs, to free you at last.
But yeah, like also like it's one of those things where I was thinking about like with Paralyzed. Remember
Mhm.
where I would talk about like that game a lot. Like there's somebody who was making artwork who was part of the art team, and then they like got fired from the company,
Mhm.
and like it caused like a whole drama thing.
Ow! I went boom again.
Hold on.
Big rocks can be kicked, they say. Mushrooms must be stomped.
Were they fired? Or something like that happened where they left, and like they were like, oh my god, like I was the one doing the art for like almost everything.
Mhm.
So like you can't really replace me. Like I'm a big part of the team.
And
And
sounds
then-
like a toxic mindset.
Yeah, and then everyone was like, well, no, because we can just hire like anyone else. So it's like,
Any-
in some ways, it's like,
Any professional artist is going to be able to work within someone else's style anyway. Even if they didn't want to, like, even if they wanted to do that, you could absolutely do that if you were like serious about hiring a professional anyway.
yeah. It just kind of made me think about how it's really like in some ways it's easy to replace art with other people,
Mhm.
which kind of, you know, it's kind of sad, but like, you know.
Well, I agree with Quas. It's great for small businesses, but it does not scale up well to big companies, especially like companies that are like big enough to be able to need to destroy the rocks.
Oh, I appreciate that, Scylla.
Big companies that are able to buy out these IPs and then not do anything with that. Even just a provision where like if you don't use an IP after a certain amount. Well, we do kind of have that though, and like a provision in law where if you don't use IPs, it will sometimes.
Sorry.
Maybe not law, but oftentimes like companies will have an agreement where we can hold on to this IP for so long, as long as we make a product every so and so years or whatnot. But like, so when yeah, okay.
What am I
this
supposed to
doesn't
do with
work.
these? Jump on them?
I don't know.
Sorry, bro. I'm trying to figure that out.
No, I got kind of lost in that. But like, yeah, like, it's hard to know how to like fix that, because if you just because you do what I was saying, if you just make it okay, well, if you don't use it for this amount of time, if you're just sitting on it, then it's gonna revert to this person, or it's gonna go into the public domain. What happens is that you get like a lot of low quality like stuff, although sometimes which sometimes even gets canceled before being released, as we started to see with like Disney Plus and whatnot. Even though that stuff's not necessarily low quality, it's more for tax write-offs, but. So, yeah, it's difficult to know, like, there are benefits to copyright for small teams and creators, but then it's just not something that works on a large scale.
Yeah, you were talking about how they should change the rights depending on how big a company gets, right? Oh,
Um,
frick. Why did I panic? I don't know why I hesitated. I didn't know if he was going to go to that one or that one.
I don't know if that would solve it, though, because...
Thank you, Stella. I forgot.
Because companies hire lawyers to look for loopholes.
I feel like we have, like, I don't know. Our financial system is so weird in a sense where there are things in place to help make sure people aren't taken advantage of, but then there's also things in place to help people who might be you know, be mistreated by the law, and then those things can just create avenues for people who have the resources to be even more messed up. You know what I mean? So like, what are you supposed to really do? Like, I feel like it's really hard to make a system that doesn't create a problem somewhere. You know?
No,
what I mean?
you need something adaptable, and like it's just like when I took like one U.S. politics class in high school, and we talked a lot about like the founding fathers. But there's this idea that like, okay, you caused it to spring up.
I thought he was going to the other one. I wasn't sure. I freaked out.
So, like talking about we talked about how like
I gotta clip that. That was great.
we talked about how like the founding fathers, they were like, well, okay, we can't predict everything, so we need to put provisions in the Constitution so that anything that's not already specified as a restriction can goes to first the state governments, and then the federal government can override that with new legislation. And it's deliberately vague in a way that makes it open to interpretation, which makes it harder to like
Founding
exploit.
parents.
But the founding parents, that makes it harder for like one group to exploit and like create more totalitarian interpretation. But it's, you know, like a good system is one that's adaptable, and especially nowadays with new technologies that can do things that were unfathomable like 100 years ago. Oh my gosh!
Wait,
oh my
they do
gosh.
actually just spring back up.
That's.
I
oh.
thought I did that.
I thought you did that too. Okay.
Oh,
I went boom again.
what the booby?
So like the big problem is the big problem is that because there's this obsession with GDP. Okay, so yeah, you can't do those too early.
It was fine last time. I wonder what the timing is like. Okay. Okay, so yeah, okay, I see. So I have to literally just follow him slowly. Okay, we got it.
That's a cool like feature. So you can't just like rush ahead. You actually do have to.
I was gonna try to speedrun it, but clearly that's not what you could do here.
We might have. I wonder if they added the mushrooms because like testers were speeding through it,
Probably.
and that made it feel like less of a challenge. But like this obsession with like the GDP, which means that the legislature is afraid to pass like regulations or actually like investigate people who are doing well, which makes it very easy to like exploit easy for like bad faith actors to exploit the system for loopholes and like do things that in even like in other developed nations are absolutely forbidden. Like there's a reason when people think America is being too highly regulated, they go to like Singapore or the Philippines and not
No, frick!
and not instead of headquartering in the EU.
I'm gonna get this egg. Here, you just keep talking while I struggle. It's fine. See, I was gonna ask you about the topic, but I don't know if you're gonna get like super into it or not.
What's the topic?
I can trigger it.
Fortunately,
You
the
don't have to
hostility
answer
to
right now.
algorithms will probably soften as their role in everyday life continues to expand. Looking for books or music we might enjoy, we appreciate recommendations generated by software. The expanding list of tasks that are assigned to algorithms should eventually reduce the discomfort that most people feel when they first encounter the pattern of results that Paul Meehl described in his disturbing little book. Kahneman, Daniel, Thinking, Fast and Slow, page 229. For R. Strauss and Giroux. Do you agree with this perspective on algorithms and formulas?
Dude, why did I jump so high? She got hopped sometimes. She is thick as hell though. What Breakfast says, right?
I went
I feel like it kind of intertwines to this because it's like one of the other problems that we can run into where on one hand people make really good arguments for why algorithms and formulas can really help humans, but then you always run into these problems where they can make unethical decisions. And basically that whole chapter I was reading was talking about how algorithms are just better than humans in most cases.
I disagree that the hostility will soften. It depends on like what we're talking about specifically, though. There are going to be like there are plenty of such like sometimes Spotify recommends music that I end up liking. It happens, but like it's not the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't exist in a vacuum. You've got to think about who designed it. How are they collecting your data? Are they like designing the algorithm to promote like misinformation or whatnot? Like remember, if something is free, then you are more likely than not the product. So there, like, I don't think that hostility is going to go away because, as useful as generative algorithms are, no.
No, I didn't. I'm stupid. What am I doing? Just pretend I didn't. It didn't happen. All right.
So like yes, the algorithm isn't a problem, it's the human component behind it. There is this desire There almost this feverish desire by people to ignore the human component in technology entirely, to say that, to describe like to say that because humans aren't making the decisions, it's free from human error and bias. And in practice, yeah, it's just a way of offloading. It's like we saw in that philosophy tube video. If you can say the algorithm did it, even though like the algorithm is biased because you made it biased, you can kind of like you can use that as a smokescreen to avoid accountability.
So it depends on what kind of algorithms and what you're using it for, I think. Is
I
where it really
know.
comes in.
I think it's going to differ I think it's going to differ from person to person, or not from situation to situation rather.
Why am I struggling with this one freaking mushroom? Muskroom. It's a muskroom now.
Like I think saying, oh well, algorithms are going to become more commonplace and people will get used to them, therefore they won't have any problem with them, is just not true.
Yeah, I felt like this was a take that was a little bit more on the
It's techno fetishist is what it is. Yeah, as technology gets better, people will stop bitching about it.
They're making good arguments though for why it's better than just regular human intervention, because humans are just bound to make mistakes that an algorithm won't make. But you also have to be careful of how you program the algorithm.
The point of an algorithm isn't that it isn't making mistakes. It's to automate like work that can't be that happens at a scope too large to be realistically done by humans, right?
And just not to have any human bias or interference.
But that's no, because you can't not have human bias or interference. Humans are designing the algorithm, even if the algorithm is designed to be self-updating, like with the Google's. That's still designed by humans to operate in a specific way. Facebook is largely algorithmic, but there are people who design it to operate in a way to increase retention. If the algorithm cannot decide, no, it would be better for people to spend less time on Facebook. The saying is this
Peggy.
hey, but yeah, saying that oh well, people are uncomfortable with it at first, but they'll get used to it. That's not the best possible outcome. That's round 2.
I didn't realize that. Rip.
Yeah, and you see that not just you see that not just with AI, but with with Bitcoin and the blockchain, where people they don't like it because they don't understand it. They'll get used to it, and the blockchain completely collapsed. AI is also, I mean, it's probably going to still be around. Like again, it's more of a marketing term than it is any particular technology.
Okay, I knew you were gonna go to one of the. You were gonna switch it up on me somewhere.
Mm-hmm. But even people can get used to anything, but that doesn't mean that it's the ideal outcome.
Yeah, I feel like we have to be able to find the balance with algorithms.
Yeah, the fact that
it's really difficult to do in a way.
The fact that things are algorithmically recommended isn't the problem. The problem is the people behind it, and exactly what the parts of the algorithm we aren't seeing.
No, I hit the wrong goddamn button combination. Frig, I hit square. Square is my usual ground pound for most games.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to tell my triangle. Square does not do it here. But yeah, I mean that's a fair take on it.
And there's also the fact that if the algorithm is designed to only reinforce, to only show you more of the thing you've already demonstrated you liked, and not most recommendation algorithms do offer you new things.
I jumped high again. Did the high jump.
Yeah, most recommendation algorithms do offer you new things, but also incrementally more extreme versions of things you already demonstrated you liked. So depending on the algorithm, it is entirely possible for it to just not give you anything new. Just leave you in this loop of the same stuff over and over and over again. And it's that's not healthy for people.
Wow, you really can't wait.
Yeah,
okay.
you're waiting too long. Like,
Okay.
it does like it doesn't spring up immediately.
Yeah. My eyesight. I get scared, man. I'm scared. Is he faster? Oh, okay. I'm gonna wait until he's like over here and then jump into it.
Mm-hmm.
See, I need to figure out his pattern because I know he's gonna do some sus-ish, isn't he? Rock. Because his pattern is way different. Like, I don't even know what this homie bro's doing. Oh, he's gonna eat this one, right? No? Are you serious? Oh my god, he tricks me!
Mm-hmm. It's okay. Try on there.
No. We can't quit. We gotta do it. This is the thing you gotta get used to with these streams. I will force myself through all the pain and agony to get it right. It gets easier the more I know the pattern.
Really close.
Why is the camera doing this? The camera is weird, I will say. I think he's gonna be here now, right? Yes. Get the rock. And then he came around.
Yeah, he hit
He
the,
came
one of
around
those.
this way, and then he didn't go to this one, then he went to this, I
I
think.
think so, yeah.
Should be good enough, right? Yeah. Okay, and where's he going? Okay, yep, okay, yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if he was gonna trick me and go to that one or not. Ow! Okay, we got this. Alright, I'm learning your weird pattern. I think that was the end right there. They just give you anxiety throughout this whole thing. Sorry, I was getting confused. I don't know what I was doing.
Also, just broadly, I don't think the hostility will go away. People are still hostile to the things after a while. Like, it's
Is
just
that too early?
No.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
like it does last a while.
I didn't realize it lasted that long.
Mhm.
Now they're deleting the rock for me. It's like they're getting pity on me.
But
It's not even the rocks that are hard, bro.
So yeah, I think even as people do and have gotten more used to algorithms, I still think people are always going to be like skeptical of them.
Here we go. Okay, sorry, it took me way too long. And that's fair. I think you should, but
Yeah,
do
'cause-
like I like the examples Michelle.
Mhm.
I like the examples they use in the book where they're talking about things where like hiring practices. We often do hiring practices that with human input that just don't work.
Okay, but that's again like we saw with the philosophy tube AI video. That's just as subject to bias as anything else, and in fact, arguably more so.
Yeah, I feel like in those situations it's almost impossible at times because it's like on one hand in the book they gave good examples where it's like you can't judge what ends up happening a lot of the times is you see someone have a really good interview
Okay, but
and you're like, okay, that person's really good, and then someone who's really bad at an interview, you're assuming they're really bad.
the
but,
interviews still happen. You can't get a job without an interview.
Well, yeah, but they're saying like for instance, they had like example scenario in the book where they're like, okay, you're trying to hire someone for a position, so you write down like 5 to 6 factual skills or qualities that someone would need to be good at to do that job well, and then you go through the interview process, and each time you rate that person on those 5 different things or 5 to 6 different things on a scale of like 1 to 5. And then at the end, you don't ever go back on any rating you do. So you're like, okay, this one I think was this one I think is that. And then at the end of all of your interviewing, you're like, okay, whoever got the highest number, that's who I hire. And you don't base it, you don't go back, you don't look at things, you don't look at anything else but what you rated, and you do it in order, and you don't
That's-
second guess your decisions. And that is the best way to hire someone. That's what they're saying is the best way to get
is that the best way to hire someone, or are they
Without-
telling you that it's the best way to hire
without
someone?
added bias, like without added human bias.
Like what? Like okay, but what are you rating them on? Like
The skills that you think the
skills,
most important
but-
skills that you think.
okay,
would
but what
hire for your
about
job.
okay, what about so what about okay, but that still is biased against people who are bad at interviews. And like also like he part of an interview is figuring out if they're going to be a good fit for the environment. If someone is cocky and hostile, like I think Cost brings up a
the
good point.
recommendation part of algorithms is fine. For me, it's the predatory data collection that stems from that. Yeah, that's fair.
And also,
And also the fact that there isn't a lot of consumer protection laws and that ones that do exist aren't enforced to the extent I think they should be.
but like that example is that's just techno fetishism. If the algorithm does it, everything will be perfect. It's human bias that's the problem. But human bias exists in
Sorry, I
all
just saw
forms.
something that I can use her for, I think. Can I hit that? Oh, yeah, you can. Cool.
But human bias still exists in the algorithm. And like, what if you do hire someone who is great at all these skills, but it turns out they're a piece of shit who's stealing from the office and making everyone uncomfortable?
Well, yeah, there's other factors involved, but they're trying to tell you that those judgments, you don't know enough to make accurate judgments in your position. So the only thing you should go off of is just that.
That's worse. That's worse. You need to be able to.
Oh, I thought that was one of them. It is clearly not. Sorry, you go.
That's okay, but there's.
I'm not saying I necessarily agree with that. I'm saying that's what they're saying in the book. And
No,
I
it
think
sounds
that's
like
a
you're
fair,
defending that.
I feel like it's a fair argument, but
If you
I
say
don't
if
know.
it's fair argument, then you're agreeing with it.
I understand where they're coming from with their point, but I feel like it's hard to add in a lot of other factors.
There is the techno fetishism.
I missed this.
Techno fetishism like prizes intelligence at the cost of wisdom. Like decision making, like it's the difference of knowing how to do what to do versus what is it like how to do something versus what to do. Like, okay, sure, you can design you can design a process where only the most skilled applicants are stand a chance, but like that isn't necessarily what you should do.
Well, I guess what they're describing is how to make sure you get the best candidate, most likely the best candidate, without having useless judgments on what you think someone is capable of doing.
A person who is educated in being, someone who is educated in being a recruiter or in the hiring manager or whatnot will know what. Yes, there will be bias, but they don't all have the same bias, and they're all not going to have the same flaws. Replacing human interaction with technology just makes everything worse. There's a lot of things you can replace with an algorithm, but that's not it. And there's a reason why, even with the recommendation algorithms, the most valuable form of marketing is still word of mouth. Yeah, you can't remove the human component from human relations.
Yeah, that's fair. I do see with that type of
Plus, you
decision
can
making how that can still exclude people who are definitely still capable of the job.
and plus somebody can lie about their skills, but like they can't necessarily lie about like a good hiring manager will probably be much better at spotting a liar than the machine, like than an algorithm will. Like, especially if they're like not allowed to like second guess their judgments. Like, well, I rated them a 5, but I didn't trust them. But they got the highest score. Something will look out of place. It's not high.
Okay, I was thinking of ties, so I was like looking up everywhere because like I know I should be able to get in here or something, right? I have to because there's a thing. Wait, am I supposed to? Is it like 5? Is it like that simple? No, right? Okay. I was wondering if like I could just jump over it like in there like that. Her hops are too thick.
Like, the solution to the world's problems are not more machinery, less human decision. It's to make humans better at deciding things. Like, there's a distinction between.
I see.
There is a distinction between intelligence and wisdom, and we prize intelligence, but we often ignore wisdom. There's something over that. What's no?
These are just. Yeah, I thought those were something too. You forgot that one? Oh, frick. There's got to be a way to get in there. You said something looks out of place. Because that's back to the beginning. That's back to the exit. You don't want to go to the exit. And then there's that area in there. that's what we just unlocked, right? Yeah. Let me see. If I use this as a leverage. Yeah. Something on the ground level. Oh, wait. Let me just make sure I get all these rocks out of the way. I want to make sure there's nothing in the rocks. And can I hit more of the mushrooms? That's what I'm wondering. Like, are the mushrooms like something? Because they're not used anymore for that other mission. So, like, did they do anything else?
They would still spring up after a while, I think.
I guess they're like a trigger for hitting on the mushrooms?
I doubt it. I don't think you'd have enough time.
Probably not, yeah.
Plus, they don't really look out of
Wait
place.
a minute.
Near where you got the eggs.
Does the mushrooms bring me up so that I can jump in? Nah, that won't work, right?
More machinery can lead to stagnation and hinder progress. An algorithm coded by someone with the average morals of 100 years ago would not have stood the test of time today.
Just near where you got the eggs. Okay. Wait, did those rocks just come back?
They might have. Yeah, and the Quas brings up a good point. Like, it's not a replacement for decision making. And then, like, if we have this a lot of smart people, a lot of people whose job it is to be a smart person, who, like, the people who write these books and the like, they act like, well, we're on the cusp of discovering the truth about. Go back. What was that wall?
You mean these, right?
They act like, well, if we can just, like, reduce everything to mathematical formula, then we can make perfect decisions for all time. But that's not. But that's like, and so they design these machines that are supposedly free from human bias, but their conclusions are rooted in human bias, and it's obvious to everyone but themselves.
Yeah.
Go around.
You mean these eggs, right?
Yes.
These
Go
are
around.
the eggs.
Go around. This
Oh wait, yeah, this
wall.
does look out of place.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, can I jump over this?
No.
Oh, that's the same place. Okay, my bad. Okay, I see. That's not everything now, right? It doesn't say everything.
Is it?
Did it say complete? I don't think it did.
What is it? Where are we?
This is...
This is not
We're
Spooky
in
Swamp.
Spooky Swamp, right?
No, I thought we were.
I think we're in Spooky Swamp, so I need
Maybe.
a little bit more left.
There's 6 eggs in here.
Because, yeah, I think it said I had all the eggs.
There were 2.
But I
eggs
don't
in
have
here.
all the gems.
I don't know if it's in this area.
But it might not, yeah, it might not be in this area. But yeah, it's just, see, the problem is I want to think those things. I want to think that, you know, we can find a good balance, but, like, I feel like there's always something that's there that makes it so hard for, like, us to balance. Like, I think, like, a lot of the distribution of wealth is a big issue, because since so many people have so much wealth and so many of us don't, it's hard to make these things fair considering that huge difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because some people can pay lawyers to help them through issues like this, and then other people don't have that ability, so they're just screwed in a lot of circumstances where someone with more wealth will not have those issues and can find loopholes and things like that. And a lot of us just don't have access to that, so we're just screwed. Like, for me, like, I don't really have as many options to make myself more marketable than other people, because I don't have the ability to just pay tons of ads to put myself out there. Did I find the key? Oh, yeah.
Did we find the key?
I need to leave this area then. Yeah. So I'm done this area, I think. The key. Yeah, I forgot about that. You're right. You reminded me of that. The key. I need to get some more lives. Ooh. So we did the quest for the people, and then we did the kangaroo thing. And we did the gator fight, little gator fight. So yeah, I think, do we need to do this? What is this? Where's this take me?
Up.
Oh, okay. Just right back where I was. Alright, so I need to find the key in here. Then unlocking that chest is probably the last part. Where could the key be? That's the question. I felt like I went everywhere. Except for this way. But I don't think you can go this way because of the water. Keep exploring, I guess. I had to have missed something around here. Keys in the treetops? I looked there. I knew I was missing something there.
Ah.
But I thought I looked around the treetops. I guess I'll go back up and see. But see, I like having these conversations.
Yeah, it is like very straightforward techno fetishism. When your response to a flaw in society or human behavior is replace the human component with a machine rather than educate the humans making those decisions, then that's techno fetishism.
Yeah, their argument is that it's impossible. Because the whole book is talking about like the way the way humans think, and in some ways humans are just inclined to make certain flaws.
That's okay.
I think
yeah,
there are ways
but
they do. What I do like about the book is they talk about how there are ways that we can learn to minimize those flawed thinking patterns.
But we don't need every individual to be perfect or replace them
yeah.
with a machine. The point of society is that is that we are collectively way more powerful and capable.
This was the
Hang
treetop
on.
one. What?
Can we get to that other area before?
What other area?
We can go back.
Oh, you meant in the game. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
I thought you meant in the world. Which area?
Go back. That way.
This away?
No.
This away.
Yeah. But
I didn't see that ledge. Yeah, we were
over
here.
there, over all that.
Yeah, I think that's where I just came from.
Is it?
Right?
Because
Wait, you're right. Yeah, but like that's not the treetops though. No, I had to because that's lit over there.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah. Just wasn't sure. What was I saying?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Scylla. But I think I'm right.
What was I saying? Like, yeah, you can't, like, sure, it is important to encourage, like, people are not machines, and this attitude of we have to treat people like machines to make a perfect world, and it's certainly impossible for a human-made machine. I agree. I think that's a good point. Yeah, like, we can't, like, people are not machines. We should not strive for perfection, and we should not, there it is.
Oh, wow. You said to the right, and then I come here and look right to the right.
Like a person who is not perfect is not a broken person, and like it's important to focus on community because we raise each other up even with our
Where's the
flaws.
chest?
And we should encourage personal growth, not because it will make us better utilities, but because that's good for us and our mental health. Perfect is the enemy of good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's about. I think they're just letting you know that these are flaws that we have in the way that humans think.
It sounds like they're treating humans as utility, though. Like, oh, we need to liquidate the perfect utilitarian system, and since humans can't be perfect, we need to replace the human component with machines.
You were reading some of the stuff I put in like the thing, right? Is that? Do you
Not
feel that
in
from like
depth.
if you read some of it, let me know if you feel like you get those vibes from it.
This is just why I don't read stuff from qualified smart people.
Qualified smart people. I mean, I really like the book because I like the way that they talk about how we can, make better decisions.
Yeah, and that's why I liked reading my psychology textbooks, but they weren't advocating for technology. They were talking about human psychology.
This is the first chapter that I felt like really went into that, and that's why I thought it would be perfect to talk about because I knew that you would feel strongly about how they're going about that. And it's more like that kind of talk is like really appeals to me, so I'm more likely to fall victim to it, I guess.
Okay,
Yes,
but like,
GG.
okay, so they're describing the thing you said, the system for. Okay, if you're serious about hiring the best candidate, select a few traits that are prerequisites for success. Okay, but then, where's your source for this? Like, did you just make this up as you were writing the book? Where's the data? How do you know this
Well, he actually
works?
talks about how he applied these learning techniques in like actual job applications. Like they would do,
Okay,
like he
but
worked in like the military, and they would try to hire like military leaders, and they had a system that was done before he incorporated his learnings, and it didn't work very well.
the video keeps dying. Interesting. This looks fine on our end.
The video keeps dying. Okay, I was about to say.
See here, it even says whenever we can replace human judgment by a formula, we should at least consider it. But that's techno fetishism.
Yeah, I thought I quoted that because I thought it was an interesting take. Not that I agree with it. I just think it's interesting how,
And this
but
is why
they
like
were talking about how I was gonna let me finish the example though. They were talking about how
skill issue.
like these skill issue. Oh my god. Okay, well I'm glad that it's not a problem because if it is on my end, I have no idea how the hell to fix it because nothing's telling me that would be happening. So that's very weird. I guess we can look into that while you're having that with. But
Okay, here say opponents of algorithms argue strongly that it's unethical to rely. Proponents of algorithms argue it's unethical to rely on intuitive judgments for important decisions, and that the algorithm will make fewer mistakes. But you don't have to rely on intuitive judgments. That's a false dichotomy. Like you can have a panel of experts who are working together to create. Like people rarely, like when it, like not typically like when job interviews, at least for entry level positions, there's not like a group hiring process. But like you saw with the interview process you went through, it's good to have a diverse panel who can weigh up their individual expert opinions, not their intuitions. If you're making decisions based on intuition, you deserve to be fired. So
I
that's a
think
false
that
dichotomy.
They're trying to argue that humans are just likely to do that. That's just likely what
That's
humans are going to do.
no, intuition is different from bias. Intuition is different from a biased expert opinion.
Oh, well, good morning. I stream early on Sundays. I'm trying to figure out a good timing for it. But we're figuring that out. We're having like really interesting discussion about algorithms and formulas. But they were claiming that they actually did get data and results where they would hire people at their hiring military. They were like a military leader and trying to hire people who were a good fit for like being leaders in the military, and like they would say that like, hey, their past tests weren't as good at finding people, but when he went through and used the stuff he's been learning about humans and how they think, he came up with that test strategy, and it just worked better.
And who concluded that?
It worked better. They experimented. They were doing tests and stuff on it to see like if
Who
this
did the
person's
tests?
actually a good fit.
Did they do the tests? Did someone else do the test? Did it get peer reviewed?
I think
It's absolutely easy for me to do a test and say, yes, my findings supported my hypothesis.
I think
don't
it
look
was
at the
actually
data.
like legitimate tests that were done, like in the military overall, because they would do like multiple experiments, and they source like a lot of their sources. I might not always highlight the exact experiments because that would be a lot of highlighting.
Mm-hmm.
But they would talk about like experiments, because I think that they won like a Nobel Prize or something like that for like some of their stuff that they've done.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
But like they actually do show experiments and evidence of their findings, so it's not like they're just talking about BS. And that person, like what, Paul Meal, I can type the name, wrote a book on like some of this stuff. And you know, just because these things might be true doesn't mean that we should just completely bypass human input. But that's basically the stuff, the information. I probably spelled his name wrong, something like that. But
something like that, yeah.
like those are where people would do experiments and, you know, test these things out. Like, can humans do this well, or like how does this work and stuff like that. So like, just because we might find out that, you know, in some cases algorithms and basic things like this seem to work better, it doesn't mean that we can't still have human involvement. But like, that's what their tests came out to show, and they're still using his methods to, you know, find people who are good fits for the roles to this day, and it just tends to yield better results.
Yeah,
from what they're claiming.
I agree with Quas. It doesn't actually make the algorithm objectively better, even if you get consistently better results. And once it's mechanized, someone is designed. As soon as something is mechanized, as soon as the human component is taken out, somebody is designing a way to game the system.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think about it, but him publishing a book could also just mean that people are utilizing.
That's
that
another
more.
factor. That's another factor is that if something works, people don't share it. They only start selling it to their things to their strategies to people once they've used it up.
Ooh, life. Sorry. So we just did this, right? Or no?
No.
Sorry, I don't remember what the hell. I keep getting lost in this place. This place is so big.
And I think dismissing a dislike for algorithms as the naturalistic fallacy.
Okay, no,
That's
I feel like this is the chapter that's the most sus and definitely comes across as, hey, algorithms are just better than humans, so let's push humans out of the way for the most part.
Yeah, but dismissing a dislike for algorithms as
Should we start this or should we stop here? Well, we can talk a bit more though.
the aversion to algorithms is rooted in a strong preference for the natural order. So like, it just will not accept that there are legit. I have not seen anything here that's like, yes, there are actually good reasons why you would not want an algorithm in every situation. It's all about, no, people don't like it because of the naturalistic fallacy. They don't like it because they're flawed. And that's I don't know if that's quite an ad hominem attack, but it is definitely a false dichotomy.
Unless you swim in air. That sounds like some hacks. That sounds like some speedrunner crap.
Yeah, it might be. Game might be bugged.
My bad. I was missing some stuff but yeah, I feel you, Red Beth. I did some chores earlier, so I'm probably gonna like rest a little bit after the stream and then like try to do some more stuff later. But yeah, I did a lot of chores this morning before the stream because I really wanted to have all the chores out of the way. So you definitely need to rest. So rest whenever you can. I'm glad you still stopped by, even though you needed the rest. Appreciate that. But hopefully you slept well and you feel good. But yeah, I'm probably gonna stop here because like I'm gonna slowly ease into streaming longer. But like I don't think I'm there yet. We started like at 11, so we did like an hour or so. Wait, no, this timer literally tells me. Yes. Yeah, it's been a little over an hour. So yeah, I definitely want to build it up. We're gonna build it up, and I'd love to have more conversations like this. It's a really easy trick actually. Okay, well, Stella, if you stop by next Sunday, if everything works out and I'm able to stream, you can teach me. If you think you can teach me it through text, I will try it. I've literally had streams where people would teach me speed tech through the chat, and I try it, and sometimes I can do it, and sometimes I just can't. So we'll see what happens. Because like I was a speedrunner before, so like I kind of remember how to go about it, but you know, doesn't mean I gotta master everything. But like I like to try it out. I'm always down to try it because like before I stopped speedrunning, I was considering speedrunning this game. The whole Spyro thing, just like kind of like Jack. So I wouldn't mind messing with some speed tech here and there. I think somebody taught me some little speed tech in like Spyro, one of the Spyros. I think Billy Bob did a little bit.
I like what Quas said.
This is what happens when you try figuring the world out from inside your bedroom and then write a book about it instead of going outside.
Yeah, smart. That smart boy tech bro philosophy of.
Yeah, I want to read books like this, but I want to take things out of it that I feel like are good.
You should probably just read textbooks.
I like textbooks, but like I don't know. I like.
I mean,
I don't know. Like
when you like
textbooks
these,
are just hard for me. They've always been hard for me to read.
I get that, but like these, when you buy stuff off of like retail, it's like meant to like when you buy these kinds of retail books, they're made by people pushing an agenda, much more so than a textbook, which is still biased, but is typically there to provide people with a foundation on which to learn more stuff.
And textbooks are often very expensive.
They are.
Like a teacher recommended me like a philosophy textbook, and like it was like hundreds of dollars, and I was like, oh my god.
It's.
I wanted to read it too, and I was like, oh,
it's better to get them secondhand if you can.
And I like reading
secondhand.
ebooks. I like reading ebooks along with an audiobook. It's just so much better for me to retain the information.
But like there are ways around it. Like especially like if you like typically if someone like a lot of like scientific studies and whatnot are paywalled, but oftentimes you can just like email whoever did the study and they will send you a copy.
All right, well, we're
So like you can like
I
get a
want to
hold
also
of
get
textbooks
good at reading
without.
books like this, but
Mhm.
like being able to see the bias in it. So like I can see in this chapter that
Well,
there's
that
a clear bias towards formulas and like removing human input, and I get that,
Mhm.
and I see the evidence they're showing, and I respect it. But like at the same time, I don't know if I 100% agree with doing that. And a lot of the points that you and Cross are making are part of the reasons why I would feel hesitant to thinking this way entirely
And
about
then like
anything.
even if the data supports what they're saying, that doesn't necessarily make like their suggestions desirable or preferable.
Yeah, I think that's how I kind of feel about it. Like, I think that they did present good evidence, even if I didn't quote it the best in like the Discord and stuff and highlighted it.
Mhm.
I feel like they did present the evidence in a fair way, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's how we should go about it, because that feels like a very distant way of approaching a hiring process or just making decisions. Period. You know.
Causality strikes again.
I also agree with you in the sense where I think the best way to handle these types of decisions is to have like a panel of experts.
Yes, the point like community is good because it helps us it helps us compensate for each other's flaws, and like I said, it raises everybody up.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about things. I wish we did that better. Is like I feel like we do it a little bit in our political system here, but
Like
we
forget
don't
the
have...
political system. We don't need politics to do it for us. We can just do that in our own communities.
Well, yeah, I feel like we're trying to do it in the political system, but we don't have to have it that structured. We can do it within our own communities in a way that really would benefit us.
I mean, yeah, that is the point of having a legislature and not a monarch to make all your laws, is that if people, especially people who are like voted in, even if that doesn't necessarily make them as qualified, but like if you have 50 to 100 and something hundreds of people all like working together and like admittedly competing more than they should perhaps, but like working together and like trying to everybody like independently working towards like the best collective goal, that's going to be way less biased overall than if you just have like a series of people who make every decision, or even like an aristocracy. As although we do have something of an oligarchic republic, but it's not like an aristocracy in the same way. It is still conceivable for me as a nobody to get into a position of power if I worked hard at it and had the education. It is complicated, but yeah, like it is better to have a group of people with different ideals and goals and whatnot trying to work together to make community decisions. And it probably would be better if some things were it would probably be better if some of the things that the federal government does were instead handled by state governments, and if some of the things that state governments were in control of were handled by the federal government. But it is a process. It is an active process, and the goal is not to figure it out one and done and then never change it again. Even the founding parents,
Be constantly changing.
even the founding fathers understood that like we have to create a system that can adapt because the world is changing very fast.
Founding parents, I have to use that. That's too good. The founding parents, they led us in the right direction.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like we could definitely have a podcast. Like definitely. Like I could I feel like I can start so many conversations from the books I read.
What you should do is not an oligarchy where you need to be a bill. Not just to run for president. Anybody, most people in a legislative position got there because they already came from a wealthy family and could afford a political education. And so, yeah, it's democracy, sure, but
What is that? Necromancy? Was that the word?
necromancy?
That's not the right word.
No.
That's not the right word at all. We're just pretend I didn't say anything. Don't worry about it, folks. Just don't look that word up.
Yes, our government is a necromancy.
No, that's a word that we were talking about. It's like it starts with an N, where like the actors, like a lot of them are already in the position. Oh, like nepotism. Is that what it is?
Nepotism,
That's what I was thinking of.
yeah. Nepotism
That's like
is
a big thing, and Stella's like, Jesus Christ, I gotta get out of here.
Or necromancers would probably be better off. Yeah.
Wrong word. Wrong N word. Is that right? I mean, wait. Okay, delete. Okay, we're just gonna end the stream and call it a day. How about that, folks? You know, we're just
I'm
gonna call it a
sorry.
day.
I'm
It's just
sorry.
fine.
I used the wrong N word. I meant beef.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, but I literally made myself cry. Oh god. But yeah, have a great day, y'all. Sometimes that's funny. Sometimes we just gotta end the stream. That's Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
That face. I like that. It's good. Gotta see nothing's changed. Yeah, you're right. We can't change too much. We just can't do it. I don't know. I don't know. Don't be surprised if I'm banned one day. This was exactly what I needed. Okay. But yeah, appreciate everyone who hung out. You have a great rest of your Sunday, y'all. And I guess we'll try to stream again on Thursday.
Yeah.
But yeah, peace out, y'all. Thank you.